Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Wednesday's webinar. It's the third of 5, and we're going to talk today about decorating your designs. What I want to talk about today is perhaps influenced light from the 2020 cloud, and we'll talk about shiny floors and adding props around the room. But most importantly, a new and controversial idea is actually using designer wallpaper on your designs, and I'll be showing you how to do that. In fact, importing well-known brands of emulsion paint and adding the color into your designs if you would like to. So everything's going to be done either in 2020 cloud or universal lighting, and I'll show you a couple of tricks in there for that. And when I do, what I want you to notice is that I can actually group some items that I use from 2020 cloud and use them and save them in my laptop, so I don't need to actually make them again. So let me talk you through the process. So I'm going to take us through and have a look at 2020 right now, so bear with me while I switch the screen, and here we go. So what I'm going to do is concentrate. I've prepared down here a couple of things, one of which is a set of lights, and I'm just going to zoom over those and show you where and where. So these came from Cloud. So I'm already signed into Cloud, and I've chosen 2020 decorative items. I've then pre-selected ceiling lights, and on the bottom of page 2, right down the bottom there, are these ceiling pendant lights. So the lights hanging from the ceiling. And what I noticed when I first started using Cloud, that they don't have any light properties in them. And that's because these are universal catalogs across all our products throughout the world. So what I did was a little trick. I actually went onto universal lights, and I use this under cabinet light, and I've just added it to the floor here. Now, what I'm going to do is to slip that into this tube. I've already got this one set up. But what I want to do is share with you for a moment is that if we go and select the light itself here, you'll notice set at Z, that is the height off the floor, of 1541. So what I then ask this light to do is to come in at 1550. So it's slightly higher than the bottom of this lamp. And then all I'm going to do is to now draw it into the center of that lamp. I'm actually holding down the escape key, the shift key, and that allows me a free flow of around and moving around. Now these lights actually have lights within them now. What I'm going to do is loop them together, so I've made them a pair, and then I'm coming up onto the Grouped Items tab. From there on in, if we were to call this Wednesday Lights, and that's now going to be saved inside my own personal laptop, and I can find that in this folder here, that folder there, and you'll find now it's included Wednesday Lights. So all I'm going to do now is to move them and place them over these mats, and we've now got a new exciting lighting setting going on within the room itself. So the next thing I wanted to share with you is a very shiny, glossy floor, and this can actually be found on our YouTube channel. Now, what I'm going to do is just navigate around this picture slightly. You can see the shine on the floor here, but I'm just going to show you, give you a slightly better view, and come back from there so we can see around the room. And you'll notice that the floor is actually glassed. Now, what I mean by that, I went into tiling, put on 600 by 600 tiles. Then I added star box. I made the box 1 millimeter high and 3 millimeters off the floor. I then laid it all over the floor. The box becomes white, but when you change the material of the floor, what you get is an opportunity to change the box color into transparent glass, and that's actually found within advanced graphics, and then glass. And then if you look for 584 transparent glass, you get this wonderful glossy effect, and it really, really helps an awful lot. So the next and final thing I want to actually show you is how we can decorate these walls. And again, if I just select my position there, you'll notice the one wall is coming up with bamboo paper. Now, a bit extreme, but that's what I wanted it to be, is extreme. That wallpaper is actually live and available to buy. I actually preloaded a well-known brand of wallpaper, and I've downloaded them and put them into my desktop, and here they are. If you're interested, they're Faro and Ball. And here is my bamboo wallpaper. But I just want to stop there for one moment and explain one thing. These are saved pictures. They're little tiles. That's all they are. And you can see as I hover my mouse over there, 500 by 750. Now, if I put these on the wall, change the wall material, you're going to get every 500 millimeters a new tile of that paper. It's not going to look seamless. So let me share you with the trick of what we would do. So if I go back to a floor plan and I highlight this wall, this one's not been decorated, so if I select that wall, so there it goes, wall, I come up to Insert, Coverings, Advanced Wall, and it's then going to give me that wall in elevation. Now, we need to add a slab or a zone. So it's going to be up to the ceiling and from the floor, and I'm comfortable with that. We now get a red band going around the picture, and all I need to do is to modify, and in doing that, I can then choose what I want to do. Well, I'm going to start it off very easily and say add, but what I want to do is to actually come in here, and I've pre-selected display my surface material. I'll show you how to add that in there. And then that bamboo wallpaper that I've added, I'm going to say OK. And here is the secret to this success. So it would have made a tile 200 by 200 and spread them all across here. But I'm going to change the width to 540 millimeters. That is a standard width of a roll of wallpaper. I'm going to then put in the height of the floor to ceiling and say OK. There's my wallpaper. It is seamless. It's one tile 540 wide from floor to ceiling. And when I confirm that's what I want, admittedly, you're going to say to me that the choice of wallpaper with the pictures on the wall are going to clash, but that's been chosen on purpose because I wanted to actually show you what and how easy it actually is. And if I just move my position there and convince you that you can now see the wall wallpapered floor to ceiling seamlessly. So that's one trick that you can do. The next thing I want to do is to color this wall with a well-known brand of paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is to come in here and change the material of the wall. And in there, it's going to ask me what I'd like to do. So I'm going to replace. And I've already selected in here. It would normally come in and choose Advanced Graphics Catalog Colors. But I'm going to change that now to a thing called RGB. RGB stands for red, green, blue. And I've already loaded these. And in here you can see I've got some Dulux colors, and I've got one in matte and I've got one in gloss. We can choose how we surface that, or the Faro and Ball colors. So all I need to do is just choose one. Let's make it glossy so you can see that it actually is having a true effect. So I'm now choosing a Dulux emulsion paint in gloss. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a picture being reflected off the gloss paint. Well, you might actually say to me, well, how do I get these colors in? Well, it's very easy. If I go to the Home tab, and in the Home tab, if you look, it's actually in here under Manage Material. And I want to go not with user images, that's where the wallpaper lies, user images. But if we use a thing in here called Rgb Colors, and I choose to add it to all designs, or only this design if it was unique, but if I say add, I then get this idea coming up. Now, just before I go down that route, I'm just going to make my laptop display for you, okay, a couple of things in here. So I've gone on to a well-known leading brand of paint, Dulux. Beg its pardon, I've just gone back too far. That's moving that screen around. So forgive me for a moment. There we are. So I'm moving this, and I can just make this a little bit bigger if you wanted to. So I'm just going to resize that and bring them side by side. So there we are. So what are we doing and how are we doing it? Well, it's on the Home tab, and it's this little mixing palette that's the secret to this success. So maybe I want to, for a demonstration purposes, just choose that range of colors. And in here, you can go and choose anything that you want to, anything at all. You could drill down and get some more colors in there if you wanted to, anything at all. I'll choose that range, and then I'm going to go up to this palette tool, and in here it says user images. Again, I'm going to change it to RGB. I want to add for all designs or any designs, and we get this tiny little box with a drop down arrow. So if I click in there, go to other, because it's trying to generate colors for me. If I go to other, I've got a little droplet here. So if I were to click that and then click on that, you'll see that the color's been transposed across. So I can say OK. It asks me for a name, so I'll call it Wednesday just for good measure. And in here you'll notice that it's saying matte or gloss, so I could make it gloss and choose OK. And this is now in my RGB colors to be used at any time I want it to be used. So, for instance, if I came in and choose to go to Settings and Preview, you'll see me now right-clicking and changing the material of Wall 8. Go it and replace it. It's found RGB because that's where I was. Here's my color Wednesday in gloss. I'm choosing OK and OK, and then the color will change. It really is an easy tool to work with, and you'll find that this will enhance all of your designs. So I'm hoping, ladies and gents, that this has helped your presentation skills with using Fusion software, and that you can use these tips for the future.